Yo, what up, YouTube? It's freefromantics back again. Yo, I just been over YouTube and I was looking up the medicinal marijuana stuff because, personally, medicinal marijuana is kind of a big deal to me. For what it seems, when I'm picking up from most of the populace, is there are some people for it and there are a lot of people against it. So I'm going to give you guys a quick rundown of why I personally believe marijuana should be medicinally legalized. Yo, some of you might know me, and I can tell you that from my perspective as an Army veteran, I got a lot of physical and mental problems I got to take care of. I got a bad back, I got a bad knee, I got a bad elbow, I got arthritis in my dominant hand, and I got some mental problems got to take care of, depression, anxiety, and whatnot. I personally do not like pill form medication. I've taken clonazepam and Zoloft and Xanax, and the side effects that those caused me were by far worse than what I was going through already. For the depression, anxiety is what I'm talking about here. I won't go into exact details, but I can tell you physically my body changed in ways I didn't want it to. There were things that I could not do. Emotionally, I was already messed up to begin with the depression, anxiety. But when I started taking the clonazepam, I started to get mood swings like you wouldn't believe. My closest friends started to become my worst enemies. People that were close to me started to think that I was a completely different person. So when I finally got free of the Army and I was able to make my own choices, I went out and I had a friend of mine who had been in a bad accident and been prescribed in California, where it was legalized, medicinal marijuana. And, he said, yo, you want to smoke up? So I said, yeah, well, sure, whatever. So, I smoked some medicinal grade with him, and instantly, my back felt great. My knee, no pain. My arthritis, it comes and goes, but nothing. And I was so calm and I was at peace and nothing was wrong. I wasn't anxious. My agoraphobia was gone. Everything was gravy. And so, for a while, when I was living in Cali, I started to try to pick up on weed as much as I could because, I hadn't been a big weed smoker until that point. So, I didn't really realize, what I was getting into. So, this medicinal stuff, I started thinking, this is what it's doing to me. If they start giving it to cancer patients, people with multiple sclerosis, people with all kinds of other medical problems, what does it do to them? How does it fix them? So I started to research. I started to look into it. And I found some things out that it amazed me. I didn't realize this single plant that people have been using to just get high for so long, had so many medicinal properties that could do so much good. And I started realizing, well, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. This plant's illegal. It's a drug. Then why is it illegal if it does so much good? So I did some more research, and I started to look more into the background. If you look at the history of marijuana and hemp, the plant itself, it is crazy the kind of things you guys could dig up. If you go far enough back to about the 1930s, and they got the reefer madness thing going on. Oh, marijuana makes people crazy. It makes people want to not be a part of society and kill people. And Mexicans and blacks, they do it. And it's all BS. And you start getting other things like industrial grade hemp and how the oil industry had this big thing against them because of all these industries that would go under because of hemp. So I'm starting to think about, all right, I could benefit from this. I'm not a California person. I'm not going to live there, so I need to go and try to figure out how to get my state medicinal law passed. So I started to look into Arizona's legislation. And in '96, Arizona passed this legislation saying doctors can prescribe marijuana as a treatment. But the problem with that is marijuana is still considered a Schedule I narcotic, meaning doctors cannot prescribe it. It's illegal. So Arizona's legislation says you can do this, but federal says, no, you can't. And then later on, 97, they overturned it. That's the funny thing, is that 65% of the population in Arizona said yes, legalize medicinal marijuana. The legislator in Arizona said, no, I'm sorry, the voters voted wrong. They said, no, we're not going to do it, overturning it. They reversed what it said, so it's not legal here. Now, it's January 2010, and just the other day, New Jersey became the 14th state to legalize medicinal marijuana. You got California, Nevada, New Mexico, they're all legalizing it down here. Arizona's just got to follow the trend, and come July, hopefully it'll be on the docket for the voters so we can vote it. And I personally am going for this because I've already got physical and mental problems. And, you know, the way things are right now, I don't have a job. I'm unemployed. I'm a veteran. Go figure that one. And I don't have medical benefits. You know, the VA doesn't really cover me for anything. They don't even pay me anything right now. So I need medication. I gotta take care of myself. You know, I got a kid I gotta take care of, and to take care of him, I gotta take care of myself. I do not want to be on pills again. You know, especially because the last drug that my psychiatrist was recommending me get put on was Xanax. And I've done Xan before, and Z-bars are not something I want to get back on. They're addictive, and they put you in a place where if you could handle it, that's all good. But for me, it was too much for me. You know, I got zoned out. I became toast. You know, I couldn't do nothing. I would just kick back and do nothing. So for me, medicinal marijuana has great benefits. You know, and I got, you know, people in my family that, oh, you know, marijuana is bad and it shouldn't be used for any kind of reason. It doesn't have medicinal properties. And, you know, they're old school. They don't believe in all that. But coming from my own personal perspective, I am very for the medicinal use of it. And, you know, like I said, I wasn't a big user of any sort of kind of drug before I was in the Army. So I'm not just saying, oh, I'm a stoner and I want weed legalized because I want to smoke weed. No, for me, in my veteran perspective, it's going to help me in the long run. You know, if I pop pills and I go get a job somewhere, you know, because the only thing I'm really qualified to do is security, and I'm on, you know, Xanax, I'm going to be at work and I'm going to need to be on my medication, and what am I going to do? Nothing. And it takes time for those pills to take effect. If I smoke some weed, I will smoke it and I will feel it instantly and I will be good. And I can still function just fine. You know, I'm not going to go and drive a car or go, you know, arrest people and do whatever. You know, I'm not going to do that kind of stupid stuff. But I can still function. I can still do things. And it lasts long enough to where I'm not high, but the effect carried on long enough that I wasn't in pain and I wasn't in need of any kind of crutch. But, you know, things are changing. You know, things are changing every day. You know, we got a president now who says he's all for medicinal, but, you know, we'll see. We'll see what he actually does. You know, so far it's state law depicts if it's yes or no. Federal isn't going to intervene saying, well, you guys legalize, but no, you can't do it. So I don't know. That's my whole piece. So this is freefromantics, and legalize because there's people out there that could use it. Peace out.